I scare you?
Happy Halloween, doofus!
Today is Halloween, or at least the time you're seeing this, because I pre-upload shit anymore. Today we're going to be reviewing, of all things, actually pretty decently large book, not in actual page count or size, but just as a name, Return to Terror Tower. It is a sequel to one of the most popular Goosebumps stories ever, A Night in Terror Tower. And this is very strange. I'm just going to tell you straight up, this is not my first choice for a sequel. I'm putting away the costume, sorry. This is not my first choice for a sequel route of any book, really. But this one is a straight-up sequel to Terror Tower, and I mean that literally. It does have Eddie and Sue. Spoilers, I guess, already. It's on the blurb. But it's just not the way I would do it. Obviously, I do a traditional book. But for some reason, Scholastic said, let's give it to the ghostwriters, because I don't think the series was written by Stine at all. But nonetheless, we are here talking about one of the most under-talked about sequels of all time. Whether that be for good or bad reasons. Let's find out. I was actually pretty recently sick and kind of pretty much am still sick. So bear with me as I read the blurb. And over the blurb! Pack your bags and get going, back in time. Need a vacation? Nothing beats traveling. But now you're stuck time traveling, back to the Middle Ages. It's no joke. Remember Eddie and Sue from A Night in Terror Tower, Goosebumps number 27? Well, in this book, their story continues, and you're in it. Can you help Eddie and Sue escape from the tower again? You have to get past a ferocious dragon and a lot of soldiers with very sharp swords. I kinda guarded that from the word swords in general. And you have to use your head, or lose it, to the evil executioner. The choice is yours in this scary Goosebumps adventure. It's packed with over 20 super spooky endings. Why was that worded differently? I don't know. I'm not doing the high voice anymore because I'm going to have a seizure. I don't actually love it, but I think it is very darn good. Not exactly as a sequel, though. I will say it does do the sequel things it does need to do. So I guess it kind of works even if it doesn't make a lot of sense. But I still really enjoyed this book. As a sequel, I think this is pretty good. Not my preferred follow-up idea, aka why a game book. It just feels very strange. But as a sequel, I think it does a pretty good job with some exceptions. It adds world building, which I like. There may or may not be more magic than just time traveling. There may or may not be dragons and more to the story than was initially in the first one. As well as it continues that story and wraps up loose ends like the king that overthrew Eddie and Sue's parents and killed him, I think. And also the executioner. I don't believe he was killed in that one. So it's like, finally, it's wrapping all that up. And it does it okayly. Again, not perfectly, but pretty well. But outside of just being a sequel, is this a good book? Yeah, I daringly say so. I think it's a better book than a sequel, as weird as that sounds, but you got all this medieval theming. Most of this book is literally in the Middle Ages, and it does all the things you'd expect, but obviously, I think it's very fun. It's just absolutely everything I kind of expected, but genuinely did want, and I had a good time with it just because of that. Well, not just because of that, but mainly because of that. There's also a very solid plot going on here. I like some of the climactic elements in the later portion of this book when you get past the multi-branch area where you're trying to find the 2 stones that you need for the third stone to time travel. I like that stuff. I think there's some very interesting places this book goes, and I quite enjoyed it. There's also some great endings in this one all throughout. Strangely, I know. For once, I actually, again, like all the endings. I think they're all good. One of my particular favorites is the skinned alive ending in the Dragon's Cave. Yeah, that one is exceptionally gross, but I like a lot of the other endings too, but mainly that one. That one just stinger, I swear to God, so nasty. And generally, it's a very favorably decent book, even if it's not or is a Terror Tower sequel. It is, so I gotta incorporate that. And there's some elements in there I don't like that involve Eddie and Sue. Eddie and Sue are doofuses. Yep. Where do I even start? I mean, let's start from where they start. They want to go back in time to save their people that were supposed to be their kingdom's people. And it doesn't make any fucking sense because they're basically dead. I mean, you can go back and save them. But why? History's fine now. What are you going to do? It just feels fucking pointless. It's such a sly, stupid goal, and it's like, I know that's where you belong, but that was not thousands, but it was quite a long time ago. Why are we even looking at this like it's a feasible thing we should do? They're stupid. Not to mention the exposition for them telling you is just super forced. Like, where did that even lead? For them to be like, oh yeah, we're fucking people from the Middle Ages. We got time traveled by our now fake Uncle Mordred. That doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't work. I think the exposition and all that plot shenanigans, especially the stupid note thing, when we actually get there and you wake up, oh my god, it just doesn't make any sense. There's so many better ways you could have done this shit than to make us do this fetch quest. As much as I liked it, I thought it was pretty good. It's just like, there's no reason for all this stuff. Why'd y'all even go back? Why'd you hide the rocks like that? Why'd you even leave a note? Just fucking stay there. Don't go, Alan. You're gonna get caught. Why are you even telling this? Why are you getting involved? Us, the main character, I mean. It just doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. And I just did not like Eddie and Sue's characters here. I felt like they were written by Neanderthals. I'm just saying that straight up. But I also have another complaint, which is a pretty basic one. The Executioner. He's not bad, he's just extremely underused. And he's literally on the cover art. I mean, I expected more from this guy, but it's pretty underwhelming. He doesn't really go anywhere. But yeah, complaints aside, this was a very solid book, so let's get to the rating. I give Return to Terror Tower a 9 out of 10. My real big issue here is Eddie and Sue being doofuses, and I guess I can forgive it, really. The Terror Tower Executioner, Lord High Executioner, not really making much of an appearance. He's in here, he has a decent few scenes, but not as much as I would have liked, and this isn't as big a rule. But really, aside from those, this book was such a really fun time. I liked the medieval theming, the book had a very fun plot, had some nice climactic bits in here, some interesting ideas presented, it had some world building, there's some sequely things I enjoyed, and a lot of really solid endings. So yeah, I really can't complain too much on this one outside of Eddie and Sue being, again, Neanderthals. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this Black Spine review. We are nearly done with Goosebumps book reviews, mind you. I'm being serious, next year we're gonna have maybe 4 left, and excluding new books to come. Yeah, that's sad. I don't even own all the Goosebumps books. I still have to get 2 of the presents. We're almost there, guys. We're almost there, and then full-time we'll be doing, more commonly, episode reviews. So, stay tuned for that. And the next Black Spine review should be Curse of the Cave Creatures. So, stay tuned for that. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye. And happy Halloween!